Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be ranking every single operator that is currently available in Roblox Siege. So the first operator we're going to be ranking here today is Rookie. Now Rookie is the attacking recruit in this game, and they work just like the recruits in Rainbow Six Siege. You get 2 secondary gadgets as your actual gadget, which is pretty solid. Think of this as a striker and a sentry pick. In my opinion, the attacker version is B tier, and the defender version is also B tier. They're just very average operators in Roblox Siege. Next up then, we have Assault. Now Assault is kind of like Ash. They have a grenade launcher that they can use to basically shoot breach charges from their launcher and open up soft walls, barricades, windows, stuff like that. They also get the HK416 assault rifle as well as the M4A1, and they are a 3-speed. Overall, it's an A tier operator. They're very solid, great primary weapon options, and just like Ash in Rainbow Six Siege, simplicity actually comes in handy with this operator. You don't have to think too much while playing them. Now next up then, we have Scouts, and as you can tell by the icon, that this is going to be your sledge attacker. He comes equipped with a sledge hammer as his gadget. He also gets the L85. This time around though, he is a 4-speed operator and has frag grenades. Ubisoft, if you're watching this, buff Sledge so that he is a 3-speed, that he has frag grenades, and I'm sure everything will be great again. Now with that being said, I think in Roblox Siege, he is also an A tier operator. Pretty much any operator that has breaching capabilities, whether it's soft or hard breaching, they are one of the better attackers in the game, and to be honest, they're both very fun to play. Next up then, we have Breacher. Now Breacher has the shield, kind of similar to what Monty has, as well as also having a FAMAS as a primary weapon. Think of this kind of similar to the Blackbeard rework, but they can't use both at the same time. It's basically a Monty that also has access to a primary weapon, and again, this works very well in Roblox Siege. It's very hard to counter in this game, especially with the limited amount of operators. It kind of makes it quite fun to use these operators because they're all good at one specific thing and no one else really can do what they can do, which does keep them unique. Now in my opinion, they are A tier, very fun to play. I enjoy playing this operator quite a bit. Now next up then, we have this Russian operator. I pronounce it Appear, but it might not be. Essentially, this is your Finker stimming operator. You can use your stim multiple times within a round. They also get the AK-12. They are a 4-speed operator and comes equipped with the frag grenade. Now the easiest way to explain this operator to anyone who hasn't played this operator in Roblox Siege is this kind of feels like you're playing as Fuse but with Finker stims, and it's kind of amazing. Again, I'm going to put this operator up in A tier. Once again, I really enjoyed playing this operator when I did give them a go. I think maybe Assault might be bumping up to an S tier later on in the video, but we will see. But for now, Appear and the other 3 attackers that we've ranked so far are all in A tier. Sorry, Appear is actually a 4 armor operator, not a 4-speed operator. Next up then, we have Blitz, and don't let the name deceive you because this is not Blitz from Rainbow Six Siege. This is Blitz from Roblox Siege, and they actually have access to a 9-bang, essentially like a Ying Candela. They also get access to the G36C and is a 3-speed operator, but in my opinion, in Roblox Siege, this operator is B tier. They are definitely worse than the other 4 operators we've looked at so far on attack, but they are still very solid. They're very viable, they are pretty fun, they're better than both of the recruits, so I guess they have that going for them. Moving on then, from Blitz we now have Skull, and Skull is an interesting operator because it's essentially a Twitch drone, but it can fly, and not fly like an Echo drone where it sticks to the ceiling and stuff like that. It can actually fly around the air, and it can just hover there when you come off your drone, and you can still shoot the lasers kind of like a Twitch drone to destroy things. And this just makes them a very good operator. Once again, if I had to place them on this list, I'd probably put them around Scout. I'm going to go below because I personally didn't enjoy playing them as much, at least for ranking the gadget, because when you look at the rest of their loadout, they are also a 4-speed operator, have access to hard breach charges, also has only a foul DMR and shotgun, so they don't actually have a full auto primary weapon, but the DMR is very, very good, which when taking that into consideration, we have our very first S tier operator. Once again, Roblox devs, if you're watching this, you might have to give Skull a little bit of a nerf because it is almost impossible to shoot their drones. Next up then, we have North, and North, the icon kind of reminds me of Buck. Obviously that's kind of like the logo they were going for there, but that is not the case. North is actually kind of similar to like a thermite hard breach, but instead of it being thermite like heat and explosion, it is a freeze gadget, and this operator uses the cold to actually open up reinforced walls. On top of this, they have access to the C7A2 assault rifle. They are a 2-speed 3-arm operator, and just in general, other than the fact that they're a hard breacher, they're a pretty bang average operator, but obviously being a hard breacher, it definitely puts you automatically up in A tier. Next up then, we have Robane, and Robane is Dokkaebi of the Roblox universe. They have access to calls, they're very loud, they're very obnoxious, it really does help you locate the defenders when you are attacking, and obviously it's not just the calls, you also are able to hack the phones and hack the cameras, just like Dokkaebi can in Rainbow Six Siege, and she also has access to the CBJ SMG, which is a very good weapon in this, and has the Deagle as a secondary, so no secondary SMG. Now overall, once again, another A tier operator. I really like what the Roblox devs are doing with this game, because instead of nerfing everything and making everything too balanced like Ubisoft does, they just make everything viable, everything good, and that's the way it should be. It makes the game very, very fun. You can play whoever you want to, and you don't have to worry about losing. Moving on then, we have Onibi, and Onibi is the final attacker that we are going to be ranking here. All of the operators so far, other than this recruit here, have been attackers, and then all of these operators here are defenders for those of you who haven't played the game. And Onibi is kind of like Fuse. You are able to put down a cluster mine on a wall, it will go through that wall and it will make explosions, and it is actually kind of cracked. I'm not gonna lie, I will show a clip on the screen of me actually killing someone with this thing, and it was awesome. Now on top of this, they also get access to the Type 20 assault rifle and have a secondary SMG. So again, in my opinion, this is going to be another high to mid A tier operator. But with that being said, let's move over to the defenders. The first one we're going to be talking about is Tower. Now Tower has access to smokes, canisters, and in Roblox Siege they are just as good as they are in real Siege, and to be honest, it's very nice. They also have access to the Jaeger assault rifle, they have a secondary shotgun, deployable shield, and they are a 3-speed, so they're just viable across the board. And again, another A tier operator. Now that I'm looking at it, we might have to bump the recruits down, we might have to put this up, and we might have to split up some of these operators later down the line. Moving on from Tower then, we have Trapper, and Trapper is kind of like the Frost of the Roblox universe once again. They are able to put down frost mats, they are able to put down claymores as well. Claymores is not just exclusive to attackers in Roblox, there are some defenders that get them as well, which makes for a very interesting attacking experience. With all of that being said though, they do also have a secondary shotgun, and they are a 4-speed, but the one downside is all of the traps that they're able to put down are very easily seen and easily destroyed. So in my opinion, they are a high end of B tier operator. After that then, we have Guard, which is essentially exactly like Rook. You get Rook armor, increases your health, you can take more shots and stuff like that, but they don't really have anything too notable to say. They're pretty average, to be honest. They have the Capcan SMG and a C4, but in my opinion, they're going to go at the bottom of B tier. Definitely one of the worst defenders in this video. Next up then, we have Lord, and Lord is actually actually interesting because they get a, deployable shield that is made from bulletproof glass. Sounds like OSA, right? But the thing is, they are on defense, so it kind of works like a mirror, but you can put it absolutely anywhere. Now, the one downside is deployable shields in this game are quite short, so even though you put it down, even if you crouch behind it, you're still a little bit visible, so you kind of have to prone behind it unless you prop it up on like half walls. Now, on top of that, they are one of the only operators that have an LMG on defense. They have the RPK LMG as well as the AK-74U. They are a 4 armor operator and have impacts, but once again, I think this is going to be a B tier operator because, to be honest, it's just not that great, and it's kind of like Tachanka in Siege. I just wish he was a little bit better because he's just a vibe of an operator. Next up then we have Phoenix. Now Phoenix is able to put down medkits around the map, and if you run over these medkits, you will just take some health. It's kind of like Thunderbird in a way rather than Doc stimming, but they also have access to the MP5 and the SMG11 as well as impact. So it's kind of like Doc's loadout but with Thunderbird's gadget in a way, and to be honest, I kind of rate it because it's more of a set it and forget it kind of gadget. You don't actually have to stay alive and be useful like a Doc, and you get all of the perks of having the loadout and stuff as well. And to be honest, it's one of the better attackers in the game. I'm gonna go A tier. Next up then we have Ghost, which is essentially Kavira. You get the Kavira silent step, you get the IA-276-2 assault rifle as well as the SMT-40 SMG and a shotgun. So you can run an AR, SMG or shotgun alongside a suppressed cav-like pistol, as well as being 4-speed and having impact. So this operator is kind of like the best of all worlds. It's definitely better than Kavira is in Siege, but I don't think I'd put them too high in A tier. In fact, maybe the top end of B tier suits them a little bit better. Next up then, we have Ampata, and Ampata is essentially one of the only counter hard breachers for defense, and that makes them very, very strong. Now, essentially what they can do is put like these Goyo canisters on walls, and then the heat from those Goyo canisters stop anyone from hard breaching the other side. On top of this, they are a 4-speed operator. They have the Uzi as their weapon, and they have a deployable. And to be honest, I'm gonna put Ampata up in S tier. Easily one of the best Roblox Siege defenders, one of my personal favorites. I enjoy playing this operator a lot, but not as much as the next one because we now have Asifa, and Asifa is kind of like Mute. You get Mute Jammers, which stops drones, but it also stops hard breachers, and obviously being a counter hard breacher again makes you very, very strong on defense. They also get access to the Scar SC assault rifle and a C4 on defense, which makes them very, very viable. Now, in my opinion, I think Assault is probably the worst out of all the operators in S tier, but these two defenders right here are meta right now. And then finally, we have the newest operator in Roblox Siege. We have Suto Kyo. They have the Pulse Scanner gadget. You are able to see heartbeats through walls. It does have a much larger range than Pulse does in Siege though, so it's actually very, very good. And then on top of that, they also get access to the MP7 as well as a secondary pistol with a scope. It has a little red dot on it, and they have a C4. So again, another very good operator. I'll be completely honest, I'll probably go near the top of A tier. I'm also going to shuffle Robane up there, and you know what? I think Robane is probably better than Assault. I think this looks a little bit better. If you want to see more Roblox Siege videos, I'll leave one on screen right now. Leave a like, guys, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.